I don't even think I've told Peter yet. And we've already got 1 year after. Like,
Yeah.
to the point, like, I used to hide to watch Doctor Who, and my parents didn't want me to be up, so I would listen to it.
Criminal Record premieres on Apple TV Plus on January 10th, and you play Errol Mathis. So how would you best describe your character?
It's a man at the mercy of the judicial system in the UK, that may or may not have been wrongfully charged as a murder of his beloved. A man that's very conflicted, constipated, emotionally constipated. That's what I would say.
As the series goes on, Errol does play a key role in the story since it's believed he's in prison for a crime he didn't commit, which is what Daniel and June are investigating. So was his backstory one of the reasons that drew you to the show?
I think his backstory is a lot of backstories of people I've known in real life, people I've heard of, people that lived in the same area as me. I grew up in a rough area in South London, which a lot of the superstars in the world, from like the John Boyegas and Damson Idris, is a place called Peckham. And I feel like what attracted me is the fact that I get to be a part of this magnifying glass, which is criminal record, on this particular topic, and play my part in I don't know, making people think about it, making people like say, oh, okay, this is what's going on. And that feels like I'm doing my part.
Of course. And in the early stages of the season, Errol meets June and explains what happened on that day his wife died. So does Errol believe that June can help him get out of prison?
In that scene, you can see that man has nothing left,
Right.
And June is coming in there with this new, fresh energy. He's 12 years in. So he's just like, you're not the first to come here. And I do feel like the one hope he has, which she mentions in that scene, I feel is the little anchor he has of life left, or hope. I don't want to spoil it, but
Of course. Yeah. And just one last question for me before I let you go is overall, how was the experience working on a crime thriller and as well as working with a talented cast?
oh yeah, first I've never done drama, so that was my first drama. I was predominantly in comedy TV here, and yeah, the cast just, I just keep saying it. I just literally, bro, they're astronomical. It's any actor's dream, I'm a big like Doctor Who fan, and I don't even think I've told Peter yet. And we've already got 1 year after, like,
Yeah.
to the point, like, I used to hide to watch Doctor Who, and my parents didn't want me to be up, so I would listen to it. I would like listen to the audio of the video, but yeah, it was really edifying.
Absolutely. Well, I enjoy the show. I enjoy you in it. Tom, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and continued success to you. Criminal Record premieres on Apple TV Plus on January 10th. What made you want to create a series that focuses on two detectives looking back at an old murder case?
I think the genesis of the show was number one. I have a working relationship with Elaine going back 10 or 15 years, and then I think number two. We'd been talking a little bit about writing something in the space of sort of confession and the role of confession in murder convictions. And then I think the thing that really got us started was that Peter Capaldi and Cush Jumbo, who have worked together in the past, were very keen to do something together, and they'd been talking to Elaine about it. And then the three of them approached me and said, "How about it?" And I think very, very quickly, I think the idea presented itself of two detectives with completely different worldviews, both kind of homing down on a single case. Do you know what I mean? With and you know, one is at the end of his career, keen to protect his legacy. The other one is fairly new to she's not green, but she's fairly new to CID, to criminal work. And it's just about, I guess, the duel between the two of them.
Right. And Elaine, I want to ask you, because this series focuses on two detectives that have two different lives, two different backgrounds, does that make it stand out from other crime thrillers that are out there?
I think so, although we were very keen to develop it. We wanted to develop it on quite a sophisticated, complex level rather than having sort of a good cop and a bad cop. So I think the generational differences and the cultural and racial differences and stuff are absolutely integral to the piece. But we wanted that to be something that existed in all, you know, all the stuff that falls through the cracks, all the nuance, you know, all those sort of those things that are said or done that people are sort of wondering if they're overreacting or if they're being gaslit, or so we were keen to keep it nuanced and subtle rather than sort of this sort of new cop and then this old big bad racist cop. We wanted it to be more complex than that.
Of course. And Paul, you mentioned Peter Capaldi and Cush Jimbo, or executive producers, along with Elaine, they came to you with this idea. So how was it working with Peter and Cush throughout the season, since they're also starring in the series as well?
Well, I mean, number one, I love them as actors. So let's just get that out there. I actually found them incredibly good to talk to. They let me alone when I needed to be alone, but I had some wonderful conversations with Cush, because there are things that are outside my own experience that I really wanted to kind of lean into with her. We had some wonderful chats. A lot of this I wrote during lockdown, or certainly the first episode or two. And so we'd have these we had a number of lockdown chats before I actually kind of met her. So that was nice. And similarly with Peter, I think, you know, Peter's an enormously creative individual. With his, you know, he's a director, an Oscar-winning director, I believe. It's fair to say. He has a musical career, and so we had a lot of fun talking both about the character of Hegarty, and just trying to kind of fine-tune that and try and make him as sort of, I guess, complicated as we could, you know, but also about story and music and all those kinds of things. So it was, I have to say, working with them and with Elaine turned the experience into a kind of joy for me, really.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, Elaine, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and continued success to both of you.